Okay, so what I want to do is just kind of give I guess, a narrative of how our first Tilt meeting went and what I learned. And this first website that we're looking at here is called Stixy. And it basically uses the idea of sticky notes to share ideas, to collaborate on projects, to, find ways to get kids to use technology to work together. And you can see we were tasked with a particular project during class, and the four of us worked in a group, and we worked on separate computers, and we entered in all of this information separately. Initially, we talked about different things that we were going to do, and then we put them into these Stixy notes. So I could see this being used, say in two history classes that are from different schools. You could work on a collaborative project this way, or two history classes or geography classes that are in different parts of the buildings. You could use this as a collaborative process. You could even use this in a multidisciplinary approach too. So I really like the idea of Stixy. The second thing that we learned how to do was how to download a video from YouTube. So we wouldn't necessarily need to have internet access. There was an add-on, and the way you get to add-ons, you go to Tools, you go to Add-ons, and then you can search for all these different, basically, app types of deals. And one of them was called Easy YouTube Downloader. And what that does is, once you get that add-on put to your Firefox or to your internet search engine, what you can do is it provides in YouTube a download button. And right here, then I can download it as a file onto my computer. That way, I would never need to have the internet again for this particular, video. So that's kind of a nice thing to have for various reasons. Maybe you have spotty internet access. Maybe you want to attach it as a file where kids that can't get to YouTube, maybe their parents don't let them get to it. Maybe the school doesn't allow YouTube. So it's a nice tool to have. Another thing we learned about was this QR code generator. And I think this is cool. In geography, I could see using this already for geocaching. Geocaching is basically a treasure hunt using latitude and longitude. I could really see making this a fun geocache slash treasure hunt slash review type of tool. Very simply, what you can do is you can select text over here, and maybe I give a clue as to where to find the next text or the next QR code, and then I give a question. And maybe that question is along the lines of define relative location. And that's what I do there. I've given a clue as to where to find it. Obviously, I'm not going to come up with one right now, but I give a clue, and then they've got a question they've got to answer in order to get them to the next spot in their, their geocache. So what I do then is click Generate, and it will create a QR code right here. So what I have right here, what I've written right here, is actually represented by this QR code. So I see that being a fun thing for the kids to do. It would be a different way to learn. You could turn it into a race where, hey, not only do you have to find all these clues and find out where all the QR codes are at, but the first group back to me that has all of their questions done correctly and in complete sentences wins. You could do something like that. I'd obviously have to flesh it out a little bit more, but I mean, still a pretty good idea and something I like for geography quite a bit. Another thing that we learned about was Weebly. Now, Weebly is, as it says here, an easiest way to create a website. I'm familiar with Weebly. I've used it before, so I have my own setup here, but Weebly really is. It's very simple drag and drop technology. It makes it easy for anybody to come up with their own website. As you can see, I have 4 different websites that I've created up to this point. And you can go in and you can edit them. You can see how many hits you're getting on them. It's a great tool. And it's very easy to use. And it's something that you can even get your students involved in when it comes to creating their own websites. It's very user-friendly. A neat thing with the stats, like I said, you can see, I've had 46 people on this particular website. I can see how productive the site is actually being in terms of, editing it It's very simple. Like I said, I click on edit here. It's taking a little bit of time, but we click on edit, and literally you just take what you want from up here and drag and drop and put it wherever you like. This is picture with a paragraph down here. It's so simple and so user-friendly, and there's a lot of other parts to it, but I'm not going to get into too much detail with those, but it's very basic, and I really enjoy Weebly as a whole. A couple other things that we talked about. We talked about creating School District 2 standards for technology integration, and that's something that I think is going to be very challenging for us to do. I'm looking forward to it, but Desiree has given us some great ideas in terms of looking at some examples from Florida and Arizona. So I look forward to learning some new tools at the next T.I.L.T meeting in November, and starting to work on our School District 2 standards for technology integration.